Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. They said it couldn't be done, and Paca just did it. We have now officially hit more than $20 million in total deposits over time. We've been around for about 15, I think going on 16 months. So we're coming up on a year and a half. As you guys know, very little in this space lasts that long. So it's a major feat, and that's a testament to, of course, the trusted team and us building a real solid community. And so all you guys, of course, helped us get this across the finish line up to this point. But still have a lot of traction left, a lot of tread left on the tires. We still think we can run this for the next couple years, and then at that point we'll make a decision. As the bull run ends, we'll make a decision whether we just want to lower rates and keep everything clocking, and it'll be real similar to this, just with lower rates, or if we want to decide, hey, we're just going to pay everyone out and go enjoy your time, and then we'll maybe revisit this next bull run, or maybe everybody's moved on. We don't really know what DeFi is going to look like in, say, 5, 6, 7 years. 5, 6, 7 years ago, it was completely different and almost didn't exist, at least in the capacity that we see now. So pretty major, but this video is going to talk a little bit about what we're going to do in celebration. So it's going to be a two-stage promo. We're going to do something a little different this time, and we just kind of done the same thing over and over again. So we wanted to do it in 2 stages, and there's a good reason for that, because we're actually making a lot of money on ETH right now, and we'd like to bring you guys in on that. You guys can be involved and make more money on your ETH. It's a growth asset. If you're bullish on ETH and you think it's going to go up, this one's a no-brainer. So for the next 2 days, 2 hours, 40 minutes, as you can see up here, we're going to be running this ETH promo. Then once the ETH promo is done, we're going to run our typical 0.4 across the chains. Everybody, of course, will get to take advantage of that and then increase their total liability. A lot of folks deposit a lot at the 0.33 range and they take advantage of the promos. So their general rate is somewhere in that like 0.37 range, which is pretty awesome on average. All right, here we go. Here's a nice visual aid for you. So part 1 is the ETH Vault Deposit Promo. So from now until 5 p.m. Eastern, like I said, you can deposit ETH into either of the vaults that accept ETH, and you'll get entered to win some cash. So largest depositor, whether that ends up being 1 ETH, 5 ETH, whatever, they're going to get $500, and then 5 other people who get entries in here are just going to be picked at random. They'll get an extra $100 each. In addition to that, as a bonus, we're fairly close to launching, or Unmade's fairly close to launching. I'm not going to pretend like I've really done any of the work, but he's launching his protocol RideFi, just a cool like NFT game that he's been working on for a long time. So that's going to be awesome, and he's going to give away some whitelist spots for that, so you're going to be able to get entered. So that's very cool as well. We'll probably do a couple other things along the way in regard to RideFi, but that's what we're going to start with. Here's how it's going to work. For every 0.05 ETH deposited, it's going to equal 1 entry, and at current prices, that's about $185. So, of course, it's fluctuating. We think it's going to continue to go up, so we want to take advantage of that increase in price. So throw some ETH into the vault, and you can go from there. Let's see. So 1 entry. So if you deposit, of course, 0.5, that's 10 entries. If you deposit 1 whole ETH, that's 20 entries. So it's a good way to earn some free capital. Plus, you're also still getting your vault bonus, which is 10% of whatever the total dollar value is. So ETH is roughly, give or take, $3,750. So 10% of that would come as a bonus. So you get $375 in cash. That would be paid out in USDC if it was on like the base chain, or USDT if it's on the Binance chain. In addition to that, that would be more than tier 1. So it would bump you up into firmly into tier 1 on the APR boost. So that's going to give you an additional 0.01% over in the pools. So if you go throw an ETH in, you get all your entries, you might win some cash, you get your whitelist spot, but you're also going to get an additional 0.01 over in the pools. So let's say you did it in base, and then we run a base promo at the end of the week, which will come on Wednesday, that we run in the 0.4. You would automatically, on any new stakes, get 0.41%. Well, that was weird. Everything just froze up and my camera went out. So let's do it without my face for the rest of the video. But anyway, you're going to get the vault bonus of the 10% plus the APR boost, and you can deposit more and get higher on the tiers if you'd like. A lot of folks have done that just to make more money. But here's the deal. Why ETH? Because we've been doing the vaults for a while, and we told people the vaults are essentially break even for us. We don't make much money there. It's truly just a place we offered for our investors to park some of the capital that they may have sitting on the sidelines in a safe place, and they earn a little bonus from it. But ETH's a little different. So ETH, a while back, we've got a ton of money on this in particular DEX, and we've had 7 figures on there for quite a while. We were invited into a private pool to try it out. It's basically just a single staking pool for ETH. And if you guys have ever got into those single staking pools, normally they're not really high APRs, but in this case, it's significantly higher than what the norm is. So it's paying us out a little more than the double what our liability is in the vaults. So for us, it's truly a no-brainer. If we stuff a bunch of ETH into this pool, we can not only earn the 10% that we give you, plus whatever it is that's needed to cover your APR boost, but any extra from that just goes back in to the war chest or the packet ecosystem, and those additional funds can earn us more, and it just keeps the protocol healthy. So it's awesome. The upside for you is if you think ETH is going to go up, then you're holding the asset, and when you go to claim it, you get the full value of the asset back, whether that's $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 per ETH. You get the upside of the token as a growth asset, plus you get the bonus, plus the boost, plus you get involved in the contest, plus it makes paca healthier. So in general, like I said, it's just a no-brainer. So several people have asked exactly how this would play out. Here's just an idea on how to do it. Let's say you purchase 1 ETH for approximately $37.50. You stake it in the vault. You'd earn that $375 bonus paid in USD. This would be USDC in this case if it was on base. You get your 0.01% boost over in the pools. So if you stake that in there, you're getting your entries. You get 20 entries for that. And then later on in the week, if you've got some funds saved up and you're compounding or adding new capital, you're now getting 0.41% rather than the 0.4. And how that's made up, of course, is because we make more than the liability in this single staking ETH pool that we get to cover the 10% and this extra percentage. So it's genius. And later on down the road, when ETH goes up to say 10K, you can just park that asset in your portfolio. You could sell it and take your 10K. So your initial ETH that you bought for $37.50 could be worth, $10,875. If you got a little piece of this contest bonus, and then whatever gains you have in the pools over time because you're getting an extra percentage. So if you like ETH in general, this is a killer one, both for you and then also for paca. Again, the single staking pool pays well. It's not absolutely insane, but it's well over the APR we are needing for the vaults to remain viable. And there's no lockup period or anything like that. So if it comes down the road, maybe a couple months, you're like, okay, I need to take some of this ETH out because I want to sell it off, or ETH just went wild. It's worth $8,000 right now, and I want to sell a percentage of what I had. That's available to you. Claim it directly out of the vault, sell it, do your thing, because we don't have any lockup period with this single staking pool. So at any time, if we need it to populate all the vault balances and pay you guys back, if you guys decide you want to take some out and sell it or take profit, easily doable for us. So this one is just pure win-win for everyone. If you have not made a vault deposit yet, it's actually super easy. Put some arrow, a little bit of wrapped ETH. You're going to put it in as wrapped ETH. So you'd select an asset, you'd say wrapped ETH, and then you'd invest. I don't think I have a lot sitting in my wallet, so I'm going to need to swap for it. You can easily come down to the bottom here, select base chain on both. I'm going to use USDC, but you can use it from a currency from pretty much any other chain. For the most part, this is a pretty simple swap, not a very exotic pair. So it's going to be able to use your USDT or your USDC or your BNB or whatever currency you have in there, and then swap it over directly for wrapped ETH. All right, it's going to use Valora. This is going to be an instant transfer. It's pretty much going to cost me nothing. Fastest best. This is just an absolutely killer bridge, so feel free to use this at any time. That's why we put it on the site. Okay, I clicked the buttons. It took about maybe 30 seconds, and as you can see, that wrapped ETH is right here. It's going to be able to take 2 digits right now, so if you've got 0.156 or whatever, you're not going to put that extra digit. It's something we are trying to fix. It just gets super complicated because we have this accepting stuff like Shiba Inu, which is a decimal in 1,000,000 characters, or Bitcoin, which is on the opposite end of the spectrum, so that's why it's a little finicky. But you just come here, invest. I'm going to throw 0.25 in here to get started. Send it to the vault, and as you can see, it's in there. It's been added. That continues to increase the value of the vaults and gets me to a new tier, which will give me the additional boost. 3,500 gets you to tier 1, 10,000 to tier 2, and so on. So if you're looking to make some money on ETH this bull cycle and also make a bunch of money in paca, this pairing is really ideal right now. So that's why we're doing it. I wanted to give the explanation of that. I don't think that the promo at the end of the week, which was going to be the end of Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I don't think that one's going to need education on how you do that. Just come in, you'll get the 0.4 or more if you've hit a tier in the vaults. But that's how it works. congratulations to everybody. It's super cool. 20 million is an amazing accomplishment, and I'm super excited that we got to this point. It hasn't been without challenges. Obviously, we had the Cetus thing. We've had some other DEXs struggle. There's been a lot of obstacles and stuff like that we had to overcome, some development stuff, but it's going really well, and we are so excited. It's really looking like we're about to actually break into the bull run. It's been a lot of challenging stuff geopolitically. That's been one of the major things with these big swings down and up and possible World War III and just this and that. So it's been challenging, but it looks like we've leveled out. There'll still be some pullbacks, but I do think we're strong into the bull cycle. Now that you're seeing Bitcoin hit an all-time high, right? ETH generally follows. You get some of the outflows going out of Bitcoin and over into ETH. Now, both ETH and Bitcoin are getting a ton of institutional capital, so it's going to be a little bit different of a bull market in my opinion. But a lot of money is cycling out over to ETH. We're now finally seeing ETH get some traction. So I would not be surprised at all if over the next 90 days we see ETH hit an all-time high. So you got Bitcoin hitting an all-time high. I think ETH's going to follow behind it and get more traction than it has in the past. Then we're going to have altcoin season. So stuff like Sui and other things that we farm should skyrocket. So things should look really good. But this is why we're doing the promo. I think we're in a killer position. Really want to thank you guys. Hope you have a wonderful week and happy investing.